Every other car before this one had been front-engined. Colin Chapman was convinced up until 1960 that for a Formula One car the engine had to be in the front, but he then realised that Cooper was beating him. The obvious thing to do was to follow the rear-engine route, and as a result Lotus cars went on to world-beating prominence. Well, when I set about it, I was looking for a subject that hadn't been covered before, and after some research, I came across the Lotus 18, which coincidentally I saw it first at Goodwood on Easter Monday 1960 when it made its British debut, so to speak, and Innes Ireland drove it to 2 victories in that afternoon, beating Stirling Moss, which was a pretty sensational thing to happen in those days. And from there, it sparked my interest in finding out more about it and following its career. It's just the way it was executed. It just happened to be dead right, and it worked. And although it wasn't totally successful in itself, it led on to a lot of more successful Lotuses. So it was a stepping stone. Initially, the works drivers were Innes Ireland and Alan Stacey, and they were joined by Jim Clark and John Surtees, and Stirling Moss's entrant Rob Walker brought him a Lotus 18, and that was actually the one that was the most successful. Coopers at that time were basically ruggedly built things with not much scientific input into them, whereas Colin Chapman was very technologically orientated as regards things like suspension setups and chassis stiffness and that sort of thing. And you might say he built a rear-engine car. He built a Cooper, but he built it the way a Lotus would be built. So it was the sort of stepping stone to his future successes.